I mean, it's not gin, but it's like it's something new. It's something.
I mean, I don't drink gin enough to know exactly what it would taste like, but it tastes good.
Oh,
Tastes better. Is that just Schweppes?
no, it's a different tonic water.
So it's already, my calibration is already off. And the fresh lime, it all.
I think I made it
adds
too
to-
strong though. Yeah,
Oh, I like it.
I think mine's a little too strong. We good?
Very strange that I have a large nose, and I'll tell you why.
I guess you're privileged to have a big nose then, because you don't live in harsh conditions.
The habanero one? Holy fuck, dude. You know, maybe I've been treating this bike as some sort of parkour bike when really it's just a...
I once came face to face with a wild rhinoceros. That was pretty crazy.
I got stung by a bee once.
Happy New Year! Welcome back to the Burning Boat Show. It's a new year. We got a new camera.
Bang, 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 bang.
There it is.
Bang. Cut that.
Yeah, good.
Cut it to the bangs.
Have fun. We got a new camera.
Oh, it's exciting.
And the reason why we got a new camera is because we got some new clients. First day back, we had 2 emails, 2 people, or 2 clients who were potential clients who are now real clients.
All of December we wait. And we wait.
Oh my goodness.
And we wait some more. And
This
then
is
in the
good.
matter, like in the span of 3 days, it's just like bang, bang, bang.
We land a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And just hearing from people. I
Yeah,
think it's
suddenly
just
we- yeah,
everything
December
winds
was a
down in
ghost
December.
month.
Yeah.
Well, not even just December. I mean, it was months.
I mean,
yeah, but
like
those last
setting up.
2?
And then we
Yeah.
were like, oh, we're so close. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we didn't even do anything.
That's true. It was that. It's been a couple of months since we got a new client.
Yeah.
But it was specifically the month of December where we met and spoke to these clients, and it was all like everything thumbs up except for like it wasn't 100%.
We're doing it.
It was verbally, yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
But nothing written.
Yeah.
And then also a lot of time hearing absolutely nothing back from certain people.
Yeah.
And wonder, and like that just gets you questioning everything. Suddenly
Yeah.
you're like everything that you thought was 100% set in stone. You're like, wait a minute, is this, are they even interested? Is that
Yeah.
just part of their process? No, actually, it turns out
Because it
they are
happens.
interested.
Some people say they sound interested, and then they're like, actually, nah. So it's nice to have things confirmed. Although it would have been nice before the break. So I could have gone to my family and been like, things are great. We've got 2 projects locked. I had to go and be like, whoa.
I said we had 2 projects locked.
I thought about it, but I was like,
I mean,
I don't want to deal with
when we
like,
got that, and we got a couple of emails which were basically basically, yes, we're 100% doing
I've
it.
learned to just wait until the fucking...
Well, if you're that serious, we haven't actually gotten a signature.
Yeah, but
So
it wasn't... No, it wasn't a yes before.
no, you're right. It wasn't a yes. We didn't know what they were saying yes to. We knew it was a yes, but we didn't know to what.
We were inferring that it's like nobody would write something like this unless they wanted. They're using certain words that are implying they've already made a decision.
Yeah, and it was
but
just
it
how
still
much
was
it was
never
gonna
said
cost
like,
and which
yes, we
specific
want to do
videos.
this. Correct? Correct.
No.
Yeah.
It was, we definitely want these videos, and we don't know if we need these yet. We need to figure that out.
Okay.
But we definitely need these. That's what they said.
But we also had a meeting where somebody said, yeah, we definitely need that video. And then we
that
said,
was
great,
the
let's
first time
do
we
it.
met. That was the first time.
And
we
they
met.
went, no, actually, we don't need
That was
them.
the first time we met them, though. This
Yeah.
was after multiple. I felt like it was definitely, they were definitely going to become a client, but I wasn't sure on what kind of client they were
Yeah.
going to become. And when we came back, they said yes to everything that we had sent them. The most recent quote we sent
Yeah.
them, they said we accept that quote, which
Yeah.
was amazing to come back and have that.
Yeah. So anyways,
It's exciting. It's our biggest client yet.
yeah.
I mean, we can talk about who they are.
Yeah.
They are a tool company called Hilti,
Yeah.
and we're specifically working with Hilti Denmark.
Denmark. Making tools.
Yeah, they make tools.
Probably other things as well. Or just tools.
I mean, tools is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything from like manual screwdrivers to like big pieces of machinery, from what I gather.
I'm excited.
We've got a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be filming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there for
Yeah.
some exciting visual stuff.
Yep.
And the kinds of videos that we sold are like, that's the kind of stuff we want to be working on.
Yeah. It's good.
To get to do some, and the other company that we're working with too, we can talk about them as well. True Gum.
True Gum.
Plastic-free gum. This is a good story, I think, how we ended up getting that client. Because I think we've talked so many times about, okay, this week we're trying to reach out to people by doing blah.
Yeah.
And this week we're trying something different. And now
Yeah.
we're trying so, I think it shows that if you do enough things, like one of them is going to end up working. So this one was, we decided, okay, there's a vegan, vegetarian trade show
An expo.
event thing
Yeah.
in Copenhagen. I just randomly came across it on Instagram one day. Like, we've worked with a vegan restaurant before. We have some content within that world. Why not go and see what it is? Bring
Yeah.
some business cards. And we went. We've talked about it before on the podcast. And we ended up meeting someone who we had like the tiniest connection to through someone else that we had once filmed with.
Yeah.
And we gave our business card, and like we sent some emails the following week, ended up getting a meeting, went and had a meeting, talked about it, sent some more emails, and now we have a client there.
Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm very excited about True Gum
I'm
because of what we're going to be filming.
Very excited.
Yeah. We got some new equipment. I mean, we just talked about the camera.
Yeah. We got a new camera, which we just got today.
We literally just went out and got it.
It just went to the store.
Bought it.
Business card in.
Ting,
Ting, ping, ping,
I had to
ping.
look up the pin because
Look up the pin.
never used that card.
Ding, 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 ding. And he said, okay. And I was like, damn.
There it is.
That was satisfying. Not as satisfying because we already own the camera.
Yeah,
so you open it
It's
and you're
right
like,
there. The other one's right there.
it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but it's just, it opens up the door to be able to do so much more.
Yeah. Well, we're also
We'll
shooting
get
an
to
event
that.
for Hilti
Yeah,
that we thought we needed 2 cameras
it makes
for.
sense to have 2 cameras because it's such a big event.
Especially events, because we've shot events before with 1 camera.
very
And it
limiting.
forces one person just to kind of awkwardly roam around with a microphone pretending they're doing something. Because
Yeah.
there's really only need for like 1 person. So we'll kind of like switch off the camera or whatever. Now, it just opened up so many, like when we used to have to, when we shot time lapses,
Yeah.
we would have to shut down production completely.
We can do anything because our one camera
Yeah.
is on the time lapse thing, which is on
On
for
the slider.
like potentially an hour or 2 hours.
So you just go, okay, well,
gotta
I
go.
guess we're not doing anything for the next.
Sit around, twiddle our thumbs.
And you would think in your head, okay, as soon as that's done, there's a
do this,
talk
we gotta
in
this,
5 minutes, attach it to the Ronin, get it balanced, get to the guy, shoot the thing. It's the same with the Ronin. It's like you gotta
Ronin
take
is
the
like
camera.
a gimbal that stabilizes the camera.
Yeah, and every time you use it, basically, you kind of have to balance it. I mean, you can kind of get it. You're pretty good at getting it to a certain point.
Yeah.
but still, like
It's very
5
like,
minutes. You
it
know,
can take a long time.
and mentally, you're just not as likely to kind of switch back and forth. It's like, okay, we're gonna use the Ronin for these talks and events, and then we're gonna switch to the shoulder rig and try to get some telephoto shots because we need to throughout this event piece together different shot types.
Yeah.
and make it feel like we've shot everything on multiple cameras, even though we only have 1.
Yeah.
No
The thing is,
longer.
we actually have 3 cameras.
Yeah.
But one of the cameras is significantly better than the others and has lenses.
Well, that has the lenses.
That's
yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Right? That you can attach lenses to it that are, what make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
And those lenses only fit on 1 camera. So basically, we only have 1 camera.
Yeah.
And when we use the other camera, you can tell
Yeah.
visually. It's just not the same quality.
different color
It's-
profile.
Yeah, different color profile. It's more shaky. The stabilization
Yeah.
inside it isn't as good.
Yeah.
So now we have 2.
Oh man.
So many things.
So much more footage.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna
that's
regret that real quick.
we gotta get more. We gotta get more hard drives,
But maybe it'll just
SD
also
cards,
be
batteries,
less stressful. You know?
monitors.
Shooting, we know one person's on the telephoto getting the details. The other person
I love
can
it.
just focus on.
know, I
I'm
know.
just getting a shot. I don't need to be running around. You know,
And I also feel like we often get the same shots
we do.
because we don't know what the other.
You'll get a
person's
shot,
showing.
and I'll be like, "Is that my shot?" And you'll be like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, I got the exact
I
same
know.
shot."
Yeah,
2 hours later,
this way we can kind of like you're getting this
yeah,
kind of thing. And
You're
I'm
focused
getting
on this
kind of thing.
lens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't get the same kind of shot on a telephoto that you can get on a wide angle.
No.
Getting
Don't be
super
stupid.
technical. But
anyways,
it's exciting. And we got a new lens
oh yeah,
over Christmas. So this is a good story. So I had so I don't know, we talked about it briefly, but in Denmark, it's very normal to like write Christmas wish lists. Not just when you're a kid. Like my grandma does it. Everyone writes a Christmas wish list and like sends it out. And there are like pros and cons to it. Hello. The pros are, I guess, you're gonna get something that you want, and the other person doesn't have to like think, well, what would this person want? You kind of like are ensuring that gifts that are exchanged are like gonna be used. It's not just something. But it also removes that kind of like spontaneous element. I think it's also really fun to try and think like, what will Taylor really want? What isn't he even thought of? Yeah. And if I get it for him, he's gonna be like, whoa, like a surprise.
Yeah.
It removes the kind of surprise element.
Exactly.
Because you kind of know that you're gonna get certain things. Well, anyways, for Christmas, I kind of hinted. Just wait for a second.
There's a baby on the loose.
Baby's crying. I can't think. I like hinted that, well, I'm not going to write a Christmas wish list this year, but there's like one thing, like, you know, that I really want.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like kind of out there in terms of like, it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And like, I sent her like a video of like what it could do. And then
nightmare.
I like didn't hear about it again. And I knew that there was a good chance that, okay, I'm probably not going to get that lens. And on Christmas, you know, I'm like looking under the tree. I felt like a fucking like 8-year-old again. This is the part where I was like, so the surprise element was removed when you have like a wish list, but not this year, because my mom had gotten this lens but had hidden it and hadn't put it under the tree. And so I'm like looking around. Okay, no, nothing looks like that, and I kind of accept it. Okay, well this year I'm getting like, you know, some underwear, and a nice shirt, and. Suddenly my mom comes out with this lens, and it was like, being a little kid again. I can't believe how freaking silly I was, but let me get it.
Bring the lens.
This is a lens, believe it or not.
Look at that bad boy. Jesus Christ.
It's called the probe lens.
Yeah.
And it's something we've been looking at for a little bit because it does something really kind of crazy. For one, the way it's built and designed, it allows you to literally like put this thing in the weirdest places.
Like what?
Well, like,
I mean, we've already tested it, but
you can put it in this glass.
Oh God.
Because it's waterproof.
Yeah.
Obviously you couldn't do that with a normal camera, but you can even put it down like the neck of a water bottle.
Yeah.
Or you put it inside someone's pocket, or
anywhere you want.
You could
anything you want to probe.
It's what's called a macro lens, which is something that allows you to focus on things that are super close up. So like if I held this up to the microphone like that, it would focus on the microphone.
For the listeners, he's like, you're basically touching it. You're like millimeters away from it.
I'm literally touching it.
Yeah.
Because the actual end of the lens is like a little bit inside of the barrel or whatever you call this thing.
Yeah.
And I think the focal length is like 2 centimeters. The focal length, is that the right word?
The focal distance?
The nearest point in which you can focus.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where on a normal camera, it's like that far.
Oh, yeah.
If that. On a telephoto, it's like 1.5 meters.
Yeah, it's quite far.
So it allows you to get super close up to things and get this perspective that you can't even get with the human eye.
But the f-stop's crazy too. It starts at like f14.
Which it means that everything is kind of in focus.
Yeah.
Even when you're super close.
Yeah. But then it's so long that it still has shallow.
Yeah.
Because it's such a long,
it's just
whatever.
So
I don't
bizarre.
know. What's the term?
Depth of field?
No, it's like it's like how long the lens is. There's some equation which depth of field is both the focal length and the aperture, right?
Uh-huh.
So the fact that it has still depth of field with f14 means it's quite a long lens, I would assume.
Well, it is long.
Yeah, well, it looks long.
I mean, how long is it? Like half a meter? Probably.
Dude.
And there's a light at the end of it, so you can,
We have a lot of plans for that bad boy.
It'll be very exciting for filming gum.
Yeah, exactly.
True gum.
Exactly. The packaging, we've got a lot of shots planned, a lot of slider
videos.
shots.
Yeah, very, very, very niche little piece of gear that we're gonna
Look up probe lens test footage on YouTube if you want to see
We'll put a little
some.
link in the description.
Will we? Yeah. Mark it.
Anyways,
Oh, I'm so excited for that thing. Made by who? It's like a Chinese company.
Laowa. I think it's Germany.
Laowa. Germany?
It's a German company.
No.
I think so.
No, I don't think so. Look it up.
China. Okay, moving on.
Okay. I just saw Chinese kind of on the
Well, the
box.
packaging, there was like all this German stuff in the packaging.
Huh.
Maybe,
Made in, who knows? Or maybe through eBay.
yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, we got new gear. It's satisfying. It's stuff that we needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the camera.
Well, I guess we didn't need. Although I think we did need it to an extent.
We did not need it. That's
We
why
didn't
it's
need
such a
it.
perfect Christmas gift, because it's something like you don't need. Like, I feel a different kind of satisfaction from buying the camera.
Well, the
today.
camera's an absolute necessary.
Exactly, but it's
Yeah.
like it's the second thing the business now owns.
Yeah.
Like we've got the light. That
Yeah.
was the first thing. Now we got a second camera. It's like,
But this is something that kind of allows us to set us apart from the
Yeah,
competition
yeah,
here in
yeah.
Copenhagen.
It's
That's
very-
quite a rare lens,
that's
you know.
a rare thing. We're talking about being able to maybe rent this thing out. 'Cause,
Potentially.
no one has it. We were looking up if this was available for rent, and we couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh, we gotta.
All right, pausing the podcast.
And that concludes the nerdy section of our podcast.
Yes,
Or does it?
I think so.
What's the next topic?
Podcast mics.
Yeah, we're also thinking about getting new podcast mics with the money we have received on Patreon. We felt it should go towards something. Originally, we had said merchandise, which I think is still a viable option going forward. But I also love reinvesting the money into the podcast. We've had a couple embarrassing, I don't know if embarrassing is the word, but just strange moments with guests where we really kind of piece together a microphone that is not a microphone at all. I mean, it is a microphone, but it's very kind of shit set up.
Basically, this recorder that we're using is you're able to plug two mics into it. You're able to plug
With
a third
XLR.
mic in if you use a non-XLR.
Yeah, in the
input,
back.
which kind of limits you to what mics you can use. On
Yeah.
it.
And
the
we're
whole
using
thing is just a little janky.
camera mics, and the third mic is the lesser version of
mic
the
that I use.
Rode. What is this?
It's Video Mic Pro.
Is the Video Mic Pro?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the Pro, because the Pro has the
Oh
bridge. It's just Video Mic
no, it's Pro. 'cause
Pro.
there's Pro
Is there a
Plus.
Pro Plus?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the Pro. Then we've just got the Video Mic,
We
which
did?
is that's the red one,
Oh yeah, sorry.
which is our third mic.
Yeah.
And then we've got a lavalier,
Yeah.
which is our fourth mic.
Yeah,
and when
it's bad.
you've got all four people,
Yeah.
those mics just kind of pick up everything in the
They
room.
just ruin it.
Yeah, they kind of just make it a little bit fuzzy in the audio and a little bit hard to listen to. So basically, if we reinvested in two more mics, nice mics,
Yeah.
we could pass these on to our guests.
Yeah.
And we'd have four.
And we would
working
also need a
mics.
new recorder because, like I
Update the
said,
recorder.
you need more than two inputs.
Yeah, get four inputs on the recorder and have a bit of a better setup.
Yeah.
Still not perfect, but moving up in the world.
That's pretty close to perfect.
Well, we're deciding, right? We're trying to decide if we should get the Zoom H6, which is kind of the next step up. Well, there's the H5. We have the H4n. There's the H5, and then there's the H6. The H6 has 4 inputs.
Yeah.
This is getting nerdy again, sorry.
You really took it.
But I don't care. Has 4 inputs, but it also has knobs that you can use.
Yeah, it's amazing.
For anyone who's used the H4, it's a piece of shit.
It sucks.
It's like you
Well,
got to
no,
go
it does
into
what
the.
it does. It does what it. I mean, it does the job.
It does the job,
Clearly,
but takes 5 minutes to turn on.
it takes a long. It's just slow, and it has little kinks, and because we use it so often,
And you can't like adjust something, even when you're like when we're out filming.
Yeah.
And someone suddenly gets loud, you have to press the microphone that you want.
Yeah.
On the other side, then toggle down the volume by the button.
if you take longer than 2 seconds, it resets. So you got to start over.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, because you keep missing.
It's kind of hard to hit with one hand too. It's kind of an awkward, as opposed to a knob, which you just, I'll just turn that down a little
Boom,
bit.
boom.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can see it's that one is that mic.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It's just, or do we go with something that would be better for video production actually, which I think is like the Zoom F8N, right?
Yeah.
More expensive, has 8 inputs, has a couple more settings. It's more of a brick that kind of
Like a box,
sits,
right?
Yeah, that sits in your sound kit. So we're kind of deciding whether to go and spend more money on the sound recorder or more money on the microphones.
Yeah.
If any other nerds out there have any opinions,
Let us
let
know.
us know. We'll take them into account.
Yeah. But I think that last episode we did with Espen,
Mm-hmm.
the one where you were muted in the background, I just loved that episode so much. Totally not because you weren't talking. I
Yeah.
just felt like that's the kind of podcast that I want to keep working towards, where we are like really trying to get deep into someone else's head or
Yeah.
life and what
Yeah.
they're doing and what we can take from them and learn and apply to our own lives. I thought that was a very enjoyable, and it's also like it's a challenge. Like it's a challenge to keep that kind of conversation going.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've talked about it so many times. The future of the podcast is guests. And we're trying. But I think it's something that it makes sense to invest in. Podcast mics. So we can do the guest stuff.
Exactly.
Although I do like these one-on-one conversations as well.
I like both. I like getting deep. I like
This to me is comfortable.
banter. Yeah.
Afterwards, I feel great. When we have a guest on, I feel really nervous to start with.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I feel even more amazing because there's I feel like it was challenging. I feel like I really learned something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't as comfortable as when it's just the two of us. So it's both.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should get rid of this completely, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, you get the guests.
I'm making a list.
You could make your
Man,
list.
Making a list.
Check it twice.
Well, actually, isn't it your turn? Or does Espen not count? Because he was a return guest.
I gotta think, because for me the guest thing is that it has to be somebody that I genuinely am interested in talking to.
Yeah.
Not to say anything about the previous guest, just moving forward.
Yeah.
That I don't want to just invite somebody for the sake of inviting somebody. I think
Yes.
that's kind of my, so I got to figure out who do I want to talk to? What am I interested in? Somebody like a filmmaker, like a director.
Yeah.
And just working on that. But I don't know if I could do that every 2 weeks. But it's a goal. It's something to work towards.
Think
or somebody who owns a production company or something that I could get some.
Well, it would be every month, right? Because if we're alternating and every other one is just the two of us,
Okay, once a month.
then it's once a month
That seems
for
doable.
each of us to get a guest,
Yeah.
which I think is possible.
Yeah.
But it takes that initial planning. It's hard to do last minute.
Yeah.
So,
you
okay,
gotta-
who's next? Who's next? I'm happy to go next.
Well, then go next.
Okay. I will try to get someone on for next week.
Okay. Damn.
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like there is a little bit of an element of, okay, well, we're trying to get guests on. Let's also just try and get a guest on. So a little bit of the, well, obviously it would be amazing to pick people really interested in, but I feel like there's something interesting about everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously I'm not just going to go next door or knock on my neighbor's door and be like, come talk to us because we need a guest this week. Although that might be
By
really
that logic,
interesting.
yeah.
You were just saying that I don't really want to just get someone on for the sake of getting someone on. I feel like maybe there's a little bit of an element of, to get going.
I think it's good to push,
Yeah.
but I just find that just for me personally, I start to feel like disingenuine, or because I then invited that guest, I need to almost say certain things that I might not say otherwise.
Right.
And I think it's ultimately on mom. It's to do with me.
No, but it is. I mean, it's hard to have a guest on and to like disagree with them.
Not even disagree, but or like have an interest or something would be the worst.
Right. Yeah.
So I think for me, it's like you find people that you're.
Yeah.
And the podcast is a good way to, if I enjoy somebody's work, it might be more interesting for me to go, hey, let's have a talk on the podcast and meet each other and talk about these things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
As opposed to, it might just be a good way to get started with a relationship.
Yeah, no, I agree.
As opposed to, let's get a coffee or whatever.
No, I like that.
Even the girl we've been in contact with for the film. That's interesting.
Well, she was my
because
she
there's
was,
actually
she was who I was going to try and get for next week.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there is information that's like, I'm interested in more. What's going on with this? And So yeah, I think that's moving forward. It was a good idea.
I mean, I was going to end with this, but we can maybe talk about it now.
Do a quick one.
No. I meant like this makes sense to talk about now.
Oh, okay.
There's other things I want to talk about.
Sure.
But like an intern, we were saying that. What if we did like had potential interns on the podcast as a way to get to know them on the podcast, to see who we vibe with.
Yeah.
Make content out of it. It could be super awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, it really could be bad.
I like bad. Bad can be good.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we need to. There's so much. There's just so much that needs to come together in one perfect wave. And I think it will. And Intern is definitely a part of that.
It's just worth trying.
For sure. I think the question we've kind of had is it against our, I don't know if it's ethics or whatever, business ethics to hire somebody and have them work for free?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I feel a little weird about that.
So I feel very weird about it because I feel like that's exploited so much in the industry. And especially where I went to school, it was like so many people would have internships and just wouldn't get paid. And it was but I noticed the problem I had with it is that it was companies like NBC.
Yeah.
And then the only kid who could get NBC on their resume was somebody who could afford to not work for free.
Not get paid, you mean?
Not get paid, right?
Yeah.
For 6 months to a year as an intern.
And then they end up getting a job.
Sure, that's kind of it could be your foot into the door, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fine as well, but just on principle, like NBC, you're like a multi-million-dollar company. This idea that this is just an opportunity, I feel like it's limiting to them ultimately, right? You're limiting your pool of
because
candidates.
Like you said, some people just financially aren't able to commit to not being paid. They might be way better for the job, but just can't afford not to be paid.
Right, and since when has this thing become like, an internship is... you just suck it up and do it for free?
Yeah, that is weird. Because I remember a big part of what I liked about the not paying someone is that, it also shows a certain kind of willingness to really kind of risk something.
Yeah.
And like put themselves in a position of like they might not get out of it what they want, but they're willing to risk it because they either really want to work with us.
Yeah.
Or like there's something about that, I feel like. But I hadn't really thought of it.
But like, that's also something...
some people can't afford to do that, even though they might be willing to risk something. I hadn't thought about it like that.
But it's still, I don't know. That's why I'm split on it. Because I also did in school, while I was doing work, I also worked for my professor for free. I was editing his feature film.
Yeah, you can do something on the side.
Which is like, that's saying... I understand the opportunity of being able to do something like that and get that on my resume, and I'm happy to do that for free. So then there's also that feeling like we have gotten an email of somebody saying, you know what, if I can just help anywhere, I just want to be part of what you guys are doing. It's like, well, then are we being too like tight ass about it?
How much do you think that person who wrote that knows about what we do?
I think they saw our website, saw the videos,
Yeah.
thought it was cool.
And but do you imagine that they think it's like an office with like 15 people?
Yeah, maybe not 15 people, but
like-
more than a closet.
More than a closet.
I would
with you
assume.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think they'd think if, like, okay, say we write them an email saying, hey, we'd like to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
Want to come on the podcast?
Yeah.
That's a lot as well.
Let us.
And then they see that we're just working out of a closet and there's a baby screaming in the other room. We're just two dudes
That's up to them.
saying, hey, you said you wanted to work for free. Well,
I think what I would say is, listen, if you want to learn to do what we're doing, this is going to be the opportunity where you are the third person on a 2-man team, which would then be a 3-man team.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, third person and a third man team.
Like
3-man team.
If you want to learn, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
This is one way to do it.
But do you think they'd be like, actually, I kind of want to get paid a little bit?
That'd be fine. We'd say, you know what, we can't pay you right now. That's totally fine. We'll keep you in mind as soon as we're able to hire somebody.
I find it to be a tricky thing. And again, it's hypothetical because we're not actually doing it or have any experience. But I keep leaning towards the idea that you kind of have to act first and then the results will kind of pay for that risk, if you want to call it that. Like, say, paying someone like a salary to work with us, and like, we can't in the long term afford it, but we might be able to afford it for the next couple of months, for example.
You're saying this if this were the situation?
Yeah, let's say right now,
Okay,
we know kind of roughly how much we're going to be making in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We could potentially hire someone for that amount of time.
Yeah.
But then after 3 months, we'd really be left with not much. Like, all of the money we've been earning would have been going to that.
Yeah.
So we'd be left with nothing. But I feel like that would get us, having that third person would get us more jobs, and we'd get,
Yeah.
I mean, it would pay for itself.
If we could do that,
say, right?
Yeah, I think then it is worth doing that.
But that's what I mean. How do you know if you can do that? I mean, if you look at our numbers and you look at what we
Well, we
pay
need to
ourselves per
prioritize.
month, right?
I think it's priorities.
Yeah.
So we say, here are the basic necessities that we need
Yeah.
for this many months. It's always going to be a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't, what are you going to go 24 months in advance and hold that? So,
No.
you can only go so far.
Especially when we are small. That is an advantage in itself as well.
Yeah.
And we're only thinking about us.
Exactly. So you do the basics, and then you say, what's more important, an office or an intern? If
Right.
those are the two things coming up right now.
Yeah.
And if we decide intern, then that's what we go with.
Yeah.
You can still try to do it, but obviously
Yeah.
you got to prioritize one over the other.
Yeah.
If you prioritize office,
But I think they're both the same. Like, which one we prioritize, it's still the same thing of like, we'd still have to kind of act on it before I don't think there's going to be, I never say never, but I think it's less likely that we're going to find ourselves in a situation where we have just a bunch of money in the bank account and we're going to know that we can pay rent for sure with the money we already have for the next year.
no.
I think it's always going to be like a case of, okay, we could do it right now.
Yeah.
And then we'd really have to kind of like
Push
to keep it working.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one we ended up going for.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that either way.
Yeah. But I mean, a simple thing between those two,
Yeah.
whether intern or office, I don't think there's a room for an intern here. So by default, it becomes
Yeah.
like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, it's the same as maybe what you do as well as if you ask me, like, obviously, if the two options are, if you paid somebody or didn't pay somebody,
Yeah, pay them.
I would always pay them because I would much rather pay somebody and then not feel guilty about them doing things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think there has to be an incentive for somebody who's unpaid
Yeah.
that is, either something in film, like you get a really good credit or whatever, but even more like I don't know how startups do it, but I think I have a friend who's working for a startup. I don't think he's getting paid anything. I think he's promised a percentage of the company. I don't know if we'd go that far, but something that is of value to that person, right, in the future.
You could do something like getting a percentage of any future jobs we land.
Yeah.
Even if we get one tomorrow, you get part of that.
Certain percentage of that final profit.
Yeah. Or you do a combination. You pay them something, but not like a full.
Right.
I don't know what the rules are regarding that.
Yeah. Or maybe you... It also feels like we'd have to talk to the person and really see... I think we could tell if we're taking advantage of somebody or if we actually feel like we're giving them an opportunity based on what they kind of would say, what they want to do. You know? But it's a very sticky situation. But I used to be like, absolutely not. You could never take somebody and not pay them. I'm so against it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm nudging towards the side of, you know what, it might, because I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't work for a company, but I worked for somebody, and I didn't feel like they were taking advantage of me because I felt like it was
It's always your
I
choice.
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Right. It was a lot of work.
And it
I feel
is-
like at some point I was doing way too much work for not getting paid.
Yeah.
But I kind of put myself in that situation. Right.
But
And
they
I did
get-
end
yeah.
up with a great credit.
And they would end up with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
They would by default have a lot of very important jobs because there's only two people.
Right.
So it's not like you would only be doing, like you'd be doing everything.
Right.
Just as much as us.
You could even maybe just throwing out ideas.
Yeah.
You get, let's say it's a 3-month or 2-month internship in the summer. You could say, you know, towards the end, one of those commercials is yours. You got to write it. You got to come up with it. You got to do everything with our
Direct it.
Huh?
Direct it.
Direct it. Obviously, we'd help and everything.
Yeah.
You get all the equipment, and we help you make something that is then, you know, Burning Boat produced, but you can go on your resume and put it on your website and say, I directed this, I wrote it, I whatever. Maybe.
There's always a way.
It's always something you can do,
That's interesting.
you know? Because it's got to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
It's got to help us and it's got to help them.
Yeah.
And you want that to be equal to a certain extent. You know?
But I think.
Or you even figure out just a small, you know, this is all we can pay you.
Yeah, but I think
We don't want to
realistically,
bullshit you.
Like very soon. I mean, so we've just landed these 2 contracts.
Yeah.
There are, I'd like to say 3 or 4 others that are very realistically very close to being signed contracts.
Yeah.
If we get all 4 of those,
Yeah.
and we have 6 things, I don't think we can do the best job we can on all of those. We
Yeah.
need someone else. So it's almost like, okay, well then we actually can pay them.
Yeah.
So maybe I was wrong when I said I don't think we're going to be in a situation when we
Well, the office
Actually.
is going to be a big payment.
offices. Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing that
Maybe what you
needs
can
to
also do is you
come
can
first, right?
pay them for the job at
Yeah.
hand, right?
Oh,
So you're paying them for the work,
yeah.
and then you say, you know, if you're interested, you can swing by the office and get some more experience in other fields. Unfortunately, we can't pay you. If you don't want to come, don't show up. No hard feelings. We'll hire you for the next job. Maybe they just want to be around. See the editing process.
Yeah.
Learn through, I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know. It's weird. As I say it, I'm like controlling my own. I'm trying to examine my own thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, is that scheming?
But my thought went to, but I think what we need the most for is actually the editing.
Well, then we hire them for the editing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's very, very exciting times.
Yeah. Just got to find somebody who's motivated.
Yeah, I'm gonna write some of those guys back who wrote us.
That's what I mean about the perfect way, because we need like the
Yeah.
the jobs, then the office, and then it's just perfect time for getting a third person in there.
We need to start looking for an office.
Maybe even saying, hey, you can use the office.
Yeah.
We talked before about also saying, you can use the equipment. If we find somebody from film school and they want to shoot their film, we can offer them better equipment than the school.
Yeah, I mean, we become friends with them as well. Like,
No.
I mean, like we want to help you.
Yeah. Be good. We'll see. I think we'll make the right decision when it comes. It's easier when it's a practical as opposed to a hypothetical,
Mm-hmm.
We'll know exactly how much money we have. We know exactly who's being hired, what they want to do.
And here's the thing. We can always, write up a contract that isn't, it's like every 2 months or something. It's like a 2-month contract that can get renewed.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, it's a year and now we
Yeah.
kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
You can always be like, okay, actually we kind of jumped the gun a little bit
Yeah.
and this isn't actually worth it at the moment. But I think it is.
Because also, you know what? It's not taking, because we did the same thing to each other. You didn't pay me. I didn't pay you. We both made sure that we didn't have costs of living while we were working on each other's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's working for free.
Yeah, that's true. But we knew each other.
I didn't know you. We kind of knew each other.
We knew
Yeah,
each
we
other
did.
more than strangers. I mean,
Yeah,
fucking
more
went
than
to school
strangers.
Together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Playing on the same volleyball team. I went to your house and had a sleepover.
That's true.
Come
That's
on,
true.
I knew you.
That's
We
true.
didn't know each other.
That's true. That's
I don't
true.
know who you are.
That's
Who's
true.
this guy?
That's true. That's true. That's true. True. I take it back.
I mean, yeah, we weren't like best friends. I hadn't talked to you
we
for
hadn't
like
talked
4
to 5
years.
years.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, no, I just mean that when you meet that person, or like Robin came for the summer.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that was taking advantage of somebody.
No.
I felt like that's something he
That
wanted
was so
to
much
do.
fun. Let's talk to Robin again.
Huh?
Let's talk to Robin again.
I know. Get him over here.
Hey, Robin.
Hey.
How's it going?
So, yeah, it'll be good. 2020 is going to be a...
You got any New Year's resolutions?
You know what? I made a resolution not to make any resolutions.
It's like, I feel like it's becoming a thing that people are, and rightly so, I think. That like, there's so many people who make New Year's resolutions that it almost becomes a joke because no one fucking does them. That it's like when someone makes a New Year's resolution, it's almost like,
Yeah.
it's such a bad word.
Well, I thought it was because I was like, before the new year, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But then people started going, no, it's a new decade. Right? And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Decade
like we came up with the
resolutions.
calendar. Time is it's all construct. We've come up with it.
We made it
So
up.
there's no real meaning to it, right? But after New Year, there is a refreshing feeling.
There is.
As much as you go into it, like, it doesn't matter. You come out and you're like, it's a new decade.
I'm going to be great.
It's just like it gives you a stepping stone. I think the wrong thing is that like I was doing a lot of things in November. I don't think it matters when you
do
want to
it.
start something,
No.
right?
Timer.
And then maybe doing a resolution when everyone else is doing it,
Yeah.
You have people to do it with, but you also have people to fail with in a sense.
People to help you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's a higher chance that someone is going to stop doing their resolution, and then you can kind of piggyback off of that negative energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you then come up with something?
No.
No. I mean, we never actually talked about your November ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did.
Yeah, but that didn't make
Became a very personal episode that got cut. We've only ever cut 2 episodes.
it. They're great. I like that.
They're both the lost episodes.
Did you add it to the lost folder?
It's somewhere. Not deleted. November, yeah.
I mean, it might be a lot to go back to, but I feel like there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there. We can also talk about my goals.
Yeah, let's talk about your goals.
Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about Christmas.
Okay.
So I was trying to think, like, what is it that I find a little bit difficult about, and it's not Christmas, but just like going home,
Yeah.
being with family over the holidays,
Yeah.
and things like that. And I think what it was it was just too comfortable. And like that element of like what we're doing is so stimulating and so exciting a lot of the times. It can also have its like dull weeks of just like you're editing the same fucking scene over and over again.
Yeah.
But there's still this feeling of like you're working towards something very concrete. You know, it's a scene and it's like you're focused on it, even though it might be kind of mundane. You feel like you're building something.
Yeah.
And there's that element of discomfort I feel on a weekly basis with doing what we're doing. That is the thing that is stimulating. And I was listening to a Joe Rogan thing, and he was talking about how there's this obsession with comfort nowadays. It's like that's the goal, to be comfortable. And I was like, I really agreed with him when he said, I don't think it is. I think it's about being uncomfortable and being in really tough situations because those are the things that are stimulating, specifically stimulating. I was like, yes, that. And I found myself, I'm like, there's nothing not to enjoy about what we're doing. I'm enjoying the thing that we're doing right now, but there wasn't, I feel like I just missed that feeling of like really pushing myself and doing something really tough that wouldn't be that fun. And afterwards you feel good about yourself because you like tried something.
Did something.
Yeah, you did something. So I ended up going on this like really long run while I was on Christmas vacation just to like do something that was like gonna suck.
Yeah.
And I really think that I started re-listening to this audiobook that I listened to about a year ago by a guy called David Goggins. I think we've talked about him, this hardcore Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Who just is all about mental toughness and like pushing through pain, and like on the other side of pain is more pain. And
Period.
It's fucking crazy. But I was like, there's something about it. There's like, you gotta like do something that sucks every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you do. Because
That's interesting.
It like makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
And like we're naturally biologically programmed to like be going after things, whether it be hunting or gathering or finding shelter, protecting our children, or like fighting off enemies.
Yeah.
It's like those are the things that are like we're trying to survive.
Yeah.
And we're so comfortable nowadays, especially over the holidays. You know, you got all this amazing food. Like everyone's helping each other. It's all nice. It's nice. That's the thing. That's why I was like, why do I feel? It's one of those cases of when you're not sure of why you're feeling something, you start to ask yourself all these weird questions. You're like, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
And that's the wrong question, because then you're gonna be like, yeah, there's all this shit wrong with me. Like, I don't think it's totally like I think it's totally a natural thing. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
That makes sense. I think I wouldn't say my vacation was, it was comfortable physically,
Right.
but it was emotionally very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But I think
There was-
being around family is...
there was challenges because it was the first time we were out with the baby.
Yeah.
You know, flying with the baby, not being in our usual environment.
Yeah.
All that was challenging. But I feel like that was the most rewarding part at the same time. It
Yeah.
was like how to deal with that, I feel stressed out about it. That's an opportunity for me to like de-stress myself. How am I able to do that
Yeah.
if I'm not able to like do what I normally do? Because, you know, there's things going on. You can't just like leave.
Yeah.
So that is actually something that I actually quite enjoyed in a weird way. Was the challenging part of it. But anyways, so I have set a couple of goals, and I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm going to talk about two of them specifically.
Okay.
Actually, 3 of them maybe. I've set a new Ironman date, which is good.
Ooh, I
I'm
haven't heard about this.
Gonna be running it in July.
Okay.
I've said the 7th of July, but I think I'm happy to make
That's your
it
birthday.
plus or minus a couple of days based on when it makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, I remember last year I was very like, it has to be on this day, and then it ended up being kind of difficult because I need help
Yeah.
just to organize it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that is happening.
Very nice.
And then I've set a climbing goal,
Okay.
rock climbing goal.
Okay.
This is the part where I'm like, maybe I need your help.
Goodbye, mountains.
No, mountains are on there as well, but that's a whole nother thing. So I've kind of pulled this number out of my ass, and I don't know if I want to talk to Espen about it to see if it's like even something that's like physically possible in a year, right? But I want to see if I can climb a 7C lead climb outdoors within a year, because I'm so into climbing.
Yeah.
And every time we go, I just get more into it.
Yeah.
And I love it. I really don't want to fall out of it like I did last year and have to restart. And I feel like I'm just getting back kind of to the point where I was.
Yeah.
And I really want to like just run with it a little bit.
Let's go.
And we're going to do lead climbing courses next week, hopefully,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And I feel like it's a full grade jump. So right now I can climb a 6C. Well,
Yeah.
I not every time,
Yeah.
but I can. I have climbed 6C before.
Yeah.
Indoors, top
Yeah.
rope.
Yeah.
Those are also elements to take into consideration.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
would be
yeah.
outdoors and lead climbing,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother thing. But I think by setting a goal like that, it's also going to get us outside and
That's
get
good.
us to do those little climbing trips that we talk about,
Yeah.
but we don't really prioritize so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
And I've looked up a little bit of like where you can do something like that. And that island, Bornholm, that's off the coast of Denmark, part of Denmark, is like riddled with routes that you can go and lead climb. You can even free climb them,
Free.
which is to put your own gear in. There's a lot of unbolted routes
Ooh.
because they're like
that's
natural
scary.
cliffs. That's exciting. So yeah, I've made like a very intense little training schedule. I want to try and get to the gym 3 times a week.
Nice.
Talk to you a little bit about doing like a nighttime workout,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to minimize the amount of time I'm gone when Oscar is being put to bed.
Yeah.
So I get to spend time with him in the mornings, and I'd also like to, as often as possible, be there when he goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are currently 2 nights in the week where sometimes I don't make it home before he's asleep, and I didn't want to make it a third time. So
Okay.
I'm going to leave after he's gone to bed and go to the gym after that.
Capiche.
But the gym's open until 11, so
Yeah, they're open pretty late.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you're happy to do that,
I'm down. Every time we go late, I'm pretty into it.
it's
a lot.
it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Because like everyone's leaving, and you
Yeah.
have the whole thing to
It's
yourself.
just hard to motivate yourself to get there.
to go there, right?
But then once you're there, it's great.
yeah, this is the thing. This is why I make these stupid goals.
Yeah.
Because I honestly sometimes I'm like, oh, who cares? Like you just want to go and climb more, right?
Yeah.
So just do that. Why do you have
Yeah.
to make a goal? But there is something about it that's like that's gonna make me go in that night time when I don't want to go.
I would be.
I gotta go. I want to.
Let's do it. I don't know what that means even. I'd be curious what Espen says. What a tough year-long goal would be.
I think that's on the limit.
On the limit.
Because you're already reaching a
7A,
part where
7B.
you kind of it's like a significant climb. Imagine from 5C to 6C. Think about how hard that is.
Yeah.
Like how easy it is to climb a 5C.
But it also gets harder and harder to move up,
That's what I mean.
right?
So imagine going from being able to only just climb a 5C to climb a 6C, then add some more
Yeah.
because it's more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible,
That's interesting.
but I think
Do you think it would be in reverse? Once you climb a 7C, a 6C feels as easy as when you were climbing a 6C
Yeah,
or
I think so.
5C?
yeah, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Imagine you get the stamina, you get the finger strength,
Yeah.
and that certain holds are just like, oh, this is easy. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
And you got the technique.
Yeah.
So you're able to do it way faster and with way less of a wasted energy.
I'm very curious to see what the lead climbing grades are like.
I know.
Because I don't know if it goes down a little bit again.
Makes it a little easier maybe because you got
Because some of those 7A like top ropes,
yeah. Like, you can't let go of the wall.
Huh?
You can't let go of the wall to like clip in a rope.
I'm sure people can.
Right, but that's what you're thinking, right?
Well, I don't know. It just seems like
Feels like that would be fucking crazy.
like,
to,
oh, that's
go
a
right
hard
now
climb.
and hold on.
Yeah. But it's also, but it's because that's literally the peak of the top roping wall,
Yeah.
which means
The
even if
hardest-
somebody
the
was trying to do a harder one,
Mm-hmm.
I'd just be like, that's so many. It's hard.
hardest- I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what it's like to have access to the other half of the
Oh
gym.
my God.
But it's going to take a lot of technical work, but also like strength work.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to reincorporate the workouts.
Nice.
Into this. It'll be longer sessions where we work out afterwards. If you're
Perfect.
If you're in.
I'm always in.
Cool. And then I've set a reading goal.
Nice.
I want to. Again, it's such an arbitrary thing. When I do these things, I try to think of something that makes me a little like, ugh, that sounds like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
But not something that's like just ridiculous and silly.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, you hear people who are like, oh, read a book a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, a book a week. Like, how many pages is that a day?
Yeah.
If you like kind of on average look at it. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to read like 75 pages a day at my pace of reading. That's like,
Well, that'd be a pretty thick book.
that's like 2 hours a day.
Would that be? That'd be like a 500-page book.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not 70. But like even 50 pages, even reading 50 pages, which would be like, well, I like some of the books I have are,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over 200.
Well,
have, like-
that's why that's never worked for me. Because
No,
it's like,
no,
what
me
is
neither.
the motivation there?
To read no. To me, it is to learn more.
Right.
Right. So but again, I'm trying to come up with something to go
To
after.
yeah.
Because I need that thing that I can be like, I don't really feel like reading right now. I'd rather watch YouTube. But
Yeah.
oh wait, I got to get my pages in or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't set a page goal.
Yeah.
I've set a goal of how many weeks are there? I think there's 54 weeks in a year, right?
I think 56.
56. So I've said 40 books in the year.
Okay.
Which is significantly less than a book a week. It's like a book every week in 2 days or something. Which is sometimes like, because I also don't want to be limited to being like, oh well, fuck, I can't read this thick book.
I was just thinking, that's funny because I was thinking something like 3 books a month.
Yeah.
Because then you could pick, you don't even need a page count. It's just like, oh, this book took me longer to read.
Yeah.
Let me now read something a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Just so
That's
I can
also
get
good.
my book in.
But I really just want to be able to pick what I want to read.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it should kind of even itself out.
Okay.
If I happen to read 2 long books back to back because that's just what I wanted to and I was interested in that topic,
Yeah.
I can. I don't
Okay.
have to be limited to a certain amount of pages or a certain amount of books in a week or in a month. It's 40 books in the year. And I've read a book. I started with a book that was 80 pages long.
Okay. That's something.
I read It's review time.
Ooh.
So I read Call of the Wild by Jack London,
Okay.
which is the book that I gave you.
Yes.
And I realized I had it myself.
But just as a short.
I just had that one.
Okay,
by
that's
itself.
funny.
I forgot I had it. I remember I went on a Amazon spree after watching Into the Wild one time. I was like, what did Alexander Supertramp read when he was in the bus in the wild?
Yeah.
And there was all these articles about like, oh, these are the books that were found with him.
Yeah.
And these are the books that are like referenced to the movie. And like you can see this book lying in the background. And I had there's like 12 books. Call of the Wild was on there. I was like, I gotta read that. And it's a book told from the perspective of a dog that's like half Saint Bernard, half wolf, or half husky or something. And is domesticated, and it's the story about how it becomes a wild dog slowly. Oh, it's very fucking violent.
It's
though.
always a little bit of wild on the inside, though.
It's a little wild.
Yeah.
Buck is the dog's name. Good old Buck.
Huh.
I was reading most of it while I had my little sausage dog on my lap, and I was like,
This fucking guy.
what is this? You are like a squirrel compared to this thing. He would die in 2 seconds if he was pulling a sled.
Or
in the
would he
snow.
suddenly,
Well, he is bred to hunt and like track animals for a while.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what if you left Arlo out in the street and, like today, we were just walking with him.
Yeah.
And he was already whining,
yeah.
even with everybody with him. But how long? He would at some point stop whining, right? If you just left him out there.
Yeah.
How long would it take until he's like fuck it. I've got to fend for myself. Animal instincts are kicking in.
So
I'm looking for food.
let's assume no one helped him, right?
I am no longer looking for someone to help me.
And let's assume also no one does help him.
Yeah, and
someone would definitely help him.
Well, like, people would help him, right? But even that would be like,
I mean, like people would take him and put him in a shelter.
oh, right. Yeah, okay,
Let's
nobody
assume
takes him.
No one does that.
No.
But they can feed him.
Well, maybe like the bread cart lady, a bread falls off. Maybe there's some happy circumstances at the beginning to help him out, right?
I think he would die of cold his first night.
Yeah, he probably would. Hypothermia. Or would he figure something? Would he suddenly start digging in the cemetery and build himself a little
Oh my god.
burrow?
I don't know.
Because it's still in him.
Well, for Buck,
that instinct.
For Buck in Call of the Wild, it took him a couple of weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has a couple weeks in this cold weather.
No. So it's the summer. Maybe it's the summer.
Interesting question though.
Yeah.
But it was I don't read I don't read fiction.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Yeah.
I can't. I think the last thing I read was like The Great Gatsby, like 2 years ago.
That's crazy to me.
And before that, I read The Lord of the Rings, like the year I graduated from school.
What a fucking
I just
nerd.
don't read fiction. I only read
Yeah,
nonfiction.
so
So I
fun.
read a fiction book.
Exciting, huh?
Yeah. I've always kind of said that I get my like I watch movies for the stories,
Yeah.
and I read books to learn.
Yeah.
But you can still learn from like reading a fiction book.
It's like a different kind of learning.
It's like it's totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally. I knew I was wrong when
Yeah.
I said that. It's just kind of like an excuse. Anyway, I still like to read nonfiction more than fiction, but I'm open
Okay.
to more kinds of books. But that's the other one.
Well, listen up. This is waking up the competitive spirit in me.
Oh, you're gonna. Don't top me, dude, because then I'm gonna have to.
No, I'm not taunting you.
No, don't top me. Don't top me.
Top.
Yeah, don't.
No,
like, say,
I'm not
gonna
gonna top.
41.
No. I'll match.
Oh, okay.
I'll match.
Cool.
40 books in a year.
Yeah.
But you already read one. 39 books in a year. Or do you want 40?
No, that's fair. But
30.
wouldn't that bother you
Why?
that you read 39 and I read 40?
Not really.
That's just me.
Trying to think. Well, I'm reading my Kubrick book at the moment. Yes, that gets me very excited. That's actually that's the perfect situation because that's something I've been wanting to do,
Yeah, it's all stuff I've wanted to do.
and I need a bit of a push.
The thing about especially the climbing goals and the Ironman goals, all
Yeah.
the physical stuff, is that with setting those goals comes so many other things that inevitably have to become things. I don't need to necessarily make it like for example, like I said, I don't want to be gone at a certain time of the evening after work finishes because I want to be there when Oscar goes to bed.
Yeah.
So that kind of limits the time at which I can work out. So if I want to be doing all my running and all my biking and all my swimming, it kind of has to be in the morning.
Yeah.
So by default, I need to be getting up earlier. So then that becomes a thing.
Right.
So there's all these other things that start, and then I have to eat healthier. So I might have to do meal planning. And so it's like you set one thing and it just kind of, all these other little things that you've been wanting to do anyways kind of become inevitabilities.
I just want to read more.
Yeah, that's a big
40 books. Mark my words. Do we need a bet on that?
Yeah, why not?
We'll think of something. That's a good one because it could be a very harsh.
Yeah. The thing was,
Thing to lose.
I also wanted to set goals that were completely in my control.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to set a goal that is...
Actually, we don't need because if you're at 35 books on December 10th,
Yeah,
I'm sure you can find 5 books that are like 20 pages long if you want.
Yeah, but then I'll have to live knowing that I fucking cheated because I know that's not how it works.
Well, 40 books.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing the climbing with you anyways.
Yeah.
That's just exciting for me.
Yeah. No, it's like, again, it's just to help kind of
It's good.
keep me motivated in a way.
Yeah.
I'm just wired that way apparently because it's like unless I fucking set a goal, I'm like,
Yeah.
Or at
Although
least-
sometimes it bothers me because I think that too. But then a lot of times I do something, and as soon as the goal's done or the bet's done, I revert to my old ways. And I feel like, in a weird way, it's the wrong approach. Because it's only fixing it at the surface.
Yeah.
Whereas I haven't quite found what the reason is.
I have a thing for that.
What?
So what I think is the fact that it's too short of a time. Well, actually, you did set the year for the smoking, but I was going to say that most of the challenges we do are for like a month.
Yeah.
And a month is something you can kind of get away with just fucking like doing it. Like, okay, I'm just going to put my head down and get it done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily figure out how to make it sustainable. I can like suffer through it in a way, or I can
Right.
like kind of, you know that it's going to end after the month. You
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, thank God it's over. And now I can kind of like breathe a little bit because it might have been harder than you thought, for example. So like with the reading,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm going to read, what's the equivalent? 4 books in a month, which is the same amount.
That's a lot of books.
Right. But yeah, it's a lot of books, and you might start doing it and you're like, oh God, this is harder than I thought.
Yeah.
And you start to forget all the reasons why you want to do it.
Yeah.
And that other part of your brain takes over and starts telling you that you shouldn't do it
Yeah.
because it's hard.
Yeah.
And so that by the time the month ends, you're like, oh, thank God, it's over. Like
Yeah.
now I stayed true to what I said, but okay, I'm out of it.
Right.
If you do it for a year, you have to figure out a way to make it something that is continuable.
Yeah.
Because after a month, you just got to do it for another month, and then another month, and then another month.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like it's going to actually change it's going to become a real habit.
Let's see.
I will
See
see
you later.
on the next episode.
Yeah. Bernie Bove Show.